Hey everybody, this is Mike with Accounting for Cycling. Today we are going to be putting that onto my car, which is right there. So I just had this hitch installed right here at U-Haul. A guy named Mike on Capitol Drive did an excellent job. Look at that. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's left out real quick. Did a nice job. I just kind of sat there, waited, messed around on my phone, and then they came out and were like, hey, we're all set, ready for you. Try not to get too far out of the gimbal's reach here. So we're gonna put this bad boy on. Ignore that for a second. Definitely ignore that for a second. That's just my car saying the proximity key has left the building. There we go. All right, so took the key lock off. And this is a SARIS Duo or something. I'll leave the actual name on the bottom, and then if I have a link to it, which I'm pretty sure I will, either through Competitive Cyclist, Backcountry, Amazon, probably all three. Yeah, I'll have those in the description down below. If I sound a little out of breath, my sinuses are like completely stuffed full. It's fun. So I'm kind of a little out of breath. I'm hoping it's done before I run some half marathons. Yeah. So you can see I've already got this sticker on here. That's supposed to line up with this hole here. Put your retention bolt in. This goes through and just holds the whole thing together. Whew. All right, cool. So normally what you'd do is you'd assemble the whole thing first. We'll do a walkthrough after I've got it on. So I wasn't too afraid that this wouldn't line up. The previous car was also a RAV4, but a 2021 RAV4. Gotta thread it in. So with this one, I'm just gonna hand thread it because this is a threaded retention bolt here for the hitch. Now, if you have like a standard square hitch on here, this is a 2-inch receiver. You don't normally have that, and you won't have to thread it in. You just kind of slide the hitch on, put the receiver through, clip it in. But since this one is kind of special, just in the sense that it is threaded, which is good because you get a little extra strength to it. It's not going to rattle around nearly as much. You don't really have to worry about it coming loose. Somebody tries to steal your entire bike rack, they at least have to go through a couple extra seconds of trying to steal it and having to unscrew the receiver. So it's nice. You can see now it's pretty firmly on there, and we're not even done. I probably could have grabbed some better tools for this, but I had these sitting on the first floor. Didn't exactly want to go run up to the bike room. And it gives a good example of what you can do. It's kind of like with a basic toolkit. So like this is just a standard adjustable wrench that you've probably got in the toolkit or just lying around in a junk drawer around the house or your apartment. You see I've taken a few things out of here, like a hammer, a pliers, tape measure. You may have even seen those. This is just like a cheapo 110-piece toolkit. Let's move to the big part. You can hear it just clicks right in. It locks, or unlocked in that case. All right. Awesome. And here we are. So we have successfully installed that. It is, so that's the actual lock there. I put the, just kind of the rubber weather cover on it. That just makes sure that the key slot doesn't get any moisture in it, doesn't rust. I don't know. Just kind of a basic rubber cover there. You can see here's the sticker. That's just so if you do take this on and off fairly often. SARIS does recommend, if you're not actively using the bike rack, that you do remove it and store it safely. I don't. I use mine fairly often. I probably should remove it and store it, but my storage spot for it recently has just been, well, in the dining area. But yeah, otherwise, this is the bike rack. So it's got two fairly large, wide spots, fully adjustable. The straps go over the tire and the wheel, in between the spokes. Just gonna push here. These arms come up. These come down over the top of the wheel to hold them in place. And then on the ends, this is kind of the neat part, you actually have a cable lock that comes out. Now, any experienced thief is going to be able to get through this pretty quickly, but for the most part, it's going to be a good deterrent. And if you're stopping at a gas station, people are going to see that and be like, hey, what are you doing? It comes around and it locks right in the middle here. You can see the key receiver here. And so when you turn that, it allows you to plug the dual cable locks in there. So you can run that around one or both bikes. You can fit pretty hefty bikes on there too. I'd have to look up exactly what the ratings are, and if I remember, I'll pull up the actual page and run through it too. But I've been using this bike rack since 2022, I want to say, and it's served me well. Still sturdy. It's made in the USA. But the nice thing too is you can pull and it tilts your bikes down and away so that the back of your car, so the hatch can open and close even with the bikes on it. And there's no bikes on there now, but yeah. And then also folds forward. So yeah, real nice. And then it kind of tucks out of the way. The wheel attachments, those are plastic, but the rest of it is all steel. Yeah. So yeah, real sturdy. Probably takes half hour or so to put together, and then even to put on the car too. And no electric, no lighting, none that's necessary. Even with the bikes on, doesn't block your, well, depending on what kind of bike you have, doesn't block your license plate, doesn't block your lights. Okay, so the one that I have, I had to pull it up on SARIS's website. Yeah, SuperClamp G3 2-bike hitch rack, and it is, the reason I was able to determine that is the other SuperClamps all are very similar, but they are not compatible with 1 3/4 inch hitches, and I know that mine is because it has the adapter on it. That just means for a lot of cars or like smaller crossover SUV types, those style vehicles over there, or even this Prius here, we're not moving anywhere, but just to kind of bring attention to it. I just didn't really want to stand out in the cold anymore. I mean, it's not terrible. It's like 42 with no wind. So it's not awful, but it's not spectacular. Other than that, it's virtually the same as the other SuperClamp series. The other types, they just offer things like being RV compatible or heavier duty weights, so like stronger materials. One of them actually is expandable out to like 4 bikes, which is cool. Here it is. Universal Hitch works with 1 1/4 inch and 2 inch hitch receivers. So I have a 2-inch hitch. Smaller ones might be 1 1/4 inch. That's usually going to be like, I don't know, like 1,000-pound max tow capacity. Small ones. Mine's like 4,500, which I think is the max that this does. I don't know. We really don't tow anything with it. We just load bikes on it, carry groceries. We can tow though. But yeah, otherwise, like the ratcheting pivot arms, it's low visibility. Whole rack weighs 35 pounds, max bike weight. I think it's 60 pounds each bike, which is pretty cool. I'll pull the spec sheet back up there because I don't want to be wrong. There we go, up to 60 pounds each. Yeah, and for use with tires wider than 4 inches, add the fat tire wheel holders, which are sold separately. Ooh, 4 inch and under. My road bike and even my e-bike are way under that. Yeah, my road bike runs 32 mil tires. And yeah, my e-bike runs 45 mil, but I mean, either way, works great. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't contact the frame. It makes good secure fits. You don't have to worry about the frame scratching. The only issue I've ever had is I run tubeless tires now, and on my way over to the Grand Haven duathlon, it was close to 100 degrees when we were crossing over the Illinois-Indiana border, just southeast of Chicago, and the clamp was on the front tire, and it must have been too much pressure, and it punctured the rim tape, which was the orange seal rim tape that I had issues with after the Lake Mills triathlon a couple of weeks earlier than that, which since I've replaced it with muck-off rim tape, which I have on the rear tire and should have had on the front tire too, and it's damn near indestructible. So we'll find out this year if that's the same issue. Probably won't be. So yeah, just if you're wondering. So if you're traveling through high pressure, maybe release a little bit in your tires, and then it shouldn't be an issue. Otherwise, yeah, mine was completely flat by the time I got to the hotel, and that was a little terrifying. But yeah, otherwise, it's awesome, and I would highly recommend it. Check your surroundings for safety. So you can see the red line is usually like you're way too close. It just gets a little bit further out, but other than that, it's still very accurate of where your safety measures are. I don't really talk too much about cars here, but yeah, it's mine. It's for sure a utility. That's what we use it for. Carries us, carries our dog, carries groceries, carries other larger items, moonroof, and carries garbage sometimes too, but also definitely recommend it. Yeah, RAV4 hybrid XLE. It's cool. Great gas mileage. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's definitely a different type of video today. Yeah, otherwise check out my other content. I'll have more coming soon. This one's probably going to be more of a ramble and, you know, watch me lift things in very slightly dirty hands. But thanks for tuning in today, and I hope you have a good one.